morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Morning.
Could be morning. It's morning for people who are listening in the US.
Yeah. True.
Afternoon here. Late afternoon. How you doing? We're a bit rusty. It's our first one in 2023. Adam, that we've been our first live stream. Not
I'm doing good.
She's been all over the place. But...
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh yeah. How's everything going? How's 2023 started for you, Adam?
Started good. I'm back in the gym. I have been for 2 weeks. Let's see how long it lasts this week. I go through these bursts where I'll go for like sometimes as long as 2 days, sometimes as long as 2 weeks. Who knows? But this time I feel actually quite committed. Probably because we're now living a bit closer to the gym. So yeah, that's been going good. Hoping to be in our new house the first week of February, which just seems to be delayed after delay after delay. Builder called me today and said, yeah, it's all looking good. We're still on for the date. However, there's a leak now coming through and we need to knock some porch roof off and stuff. So I'm like, oh, what the heck? So yeah, who knows? They still reckon first week of February, but we'll see. What else has been going on?
At least they're fixing that now before you moved in. That would have been annoying. You move in and it starts leaking.
Oh yeah, I'll be tamping, to be fair. Wouldn't be happy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, really, to be honest. We had a bit of snow here in Wales yesterday. Official snow day. Parker didn't go to school. The schools were closed. And then by the afternoon, it had all gone. So, I don't know. Typical Wales.
I forgot. Didn't you injure yourself when you first went back to the gym, like day one or day two? I forgot.
This was last time. I hurt my knee, I think.
Yeah. Okay. But it's
back.
Are you just not doing leg days?
Yeah, leg days are off the cards. It's all about the chest and arms now. Chest and guns.
How about you, Elena? How's things
going with you? It's been good. Busy beginning of the year, to be fair, but it's going good. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, not too bad too. Very wet here. We live right by quite a large river now, so the whole garden is entirely part of the river, effectively. And I'm not joking when I say that. It's like pretty deep. I'd say like the back of the garden. Oh, it's taller than my youngest child, and she's 3.5. So yeah, it's pretty.
My nerves have been on edge watching when you send me photos of the water creeping up your garden from the river. Like I don't even live there, and I'm on edge.
It's only like 6 foot from the house now, like distance wise, but the house is raised up by like 5 or 6 steps, so we're actually high up, and there is a flood wall that goes down through our neighbours. But this house was built ages and ages ago, and it was raised up. The other houses needed it because they were built in the 70s or whatever, and didn't think about the fact they were built on it for building it by a river and just had it too low, so now they've had to build a massive wall. But this one's, I feel still pretty confident. It's got to raise up quite a bit still to get in the house, I think. So. But yeah, it's literally, I mean, even our driveway, the cars could get done next. So they might see them floating off down the river, but.
Anything for an insurance claim, isn't it?
It's it's pretty good though. You've got ducks, like the kids are loving it. The ducks seem to have like a certain place close to the house, so they're like hanging around there, swimming around the garden. And yeah, I was going to get some electric boats to do around the garden, but haven't yet. So no, it's good. Other than that, all good. Excited for some stuff we got to share soon for this year. Well, obviously we've got our new brand and website, which we've talked about a couple of times coming. If we're lucky, it'll be in the very end of the month, if not early Feb. But got some new services coming along with that, so really excited to share that when it's up and ready to go. Yeah,
there is one thing that you've commented on, and that is something to do with my appearance. This year, I have dyed my beard, and also for Christmas, I had a beard straighteners. Can you see how straight this is? Can you see that?
I'd say, yeah. I mean, I need to see a before and after. I think, you know.
Yeah, well, I think I'm looking pretty good, to be fair. Beard's on point.
Looking good. All right. So today's show, we're doing an update of our Beast case study. If you've been following this study at all, we started it 5 months ago. Adam, is it September?
5 months. Yep.
5 months ago, and pretty aggressively growing the site. I won't spoil any of Adam's thunder or anything, but yeah, the most aggressive case study that we've ever been aware of anyway. So we're going to give you an update on that. Also, as usual, we're going to have Elena doing our H domain breakdowns. So I've got that coming up too. But let's have a look. Who have we got in the chat right now? We've got Daniel. We've got Tony. We've got Jake. And Luke. And Emmanuel. So welcome, everybody. If you are new around here, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We try and put out as many shows with lots of information and learning as we can. So feel subscribe to that, and we can grow the channel and get in front of more people. If we get 35 likes, we will do a giveaway by the end of the show. So hit the like button, and we'll give away some merch. So some t-shirts and some caps and some mugs. So hit the like button. It'll be retro gear soon when we rebrand and change to new t-shirts. So this is one of the last few weeks you're going to have to win some retro niche website builders shirts.
Will be worth a fortune at one point in the future when we go public, obviously. When we IPO.
Yeah, maybe it could be worth a lot of money. So yeah, a digital PR service. We've been running this for a while now. We've still got this app here. It's going great guns. We're getting some great links for our customers. Like just next level link building. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out on our website, nichewebsite.builders. It's an awesome service, and the first that we know of bringing it to people who build niche sites too. Generally, it's reserved for businesses and brands. So go and check that out. So that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to add. How else? I'm just so rusty. I've forgotten. I think I've done everything. I think I'm there. I think we just got to get on with your update then, Adam.
Cool. All right. So yeah, as Mark mentioned, it is the Beast case study update. We've done, I think this is the third update now in 5 months. We did one when we launched it with a plan, an update a couple of months back, and this is the next update because it's still all going great. We've added more content. We've turned Ezoic on. So yeah, a little bit more to update everyone on and kind of just show where we're at, really. So just for a recap and a reminder, this is an internal project, so it's not a client project or anything like that. It's a niche website builder internal project. We're using any kind of like spare capacity or any kind of free time within the team to get this done. And essentially we're building or attempting to build an authority site on an age domain. If you don't know, we love age domains. Elena's going to be covering some later, but we love using age domains in a number of different ways. And essentially, the plan is to create and publish just over 2,000 pieces of content and do aggressive link building to get it to a DR60. And I'll explain in a little bit why we picked those numbers. They weren't just arbitrarily picked out of the air. We have a specific reason for picking the amount of content and the scale of the link building. But essentially, that's an overview of what we are setting out to do. So like I say, the site was built on an age domain. A little bit of history about the domain itself. It had been around since 2008 and was an online retailer in this specific space. They had a very active blog section that talked about the space. This is one of the things we like to look for, essentially, when we are vetting our age domains. And then, like lots of businesses during COVID, the business actually closed down because it was a brick and mortar, it had an actual brick and mortar space in real life. That was probably hit hard due to COVID. The business closed in 2020, and we know this because we can see in way back that in 2020 they updated the homepage to say that the business was closing due to COVID. And then the domain expired in 2022, which is when we picked it up and started building the site on. So the first post that we posted on the website went live on the 8th of August. So just a smudge over 5 months old. And when we launched the site was a DR27 with 440 referring domains. So one of the goals, like I say, is to get it to a DR60 plus. We've got our work cut out. We're doing aggressive link building to get it from a 27 up to a DR60. And I know DR is one of these metrics that people say, oh, DR doesn't really matter, but it just gives an indication. I mean, it's not the be all and end all of everything, but it's an indication of how strong your backlink profile is. So to us, it's a good target to aim for if we want to get there, because it gives us a good indication that we're in the realm of competing sites that we want to compete with in terms of other authority sites in the space. So I'll just touch on this again for anybody who's new that's watching, but most of you will be familiar on how we do, or how we did, and how we do our tomb raiding methodology, our keyword research. There's been a little bit of a tweak to this recently, to now include topical relevance and a bigger focus on clustering of content. So just a quick recap of what our tomb raiding method is. If you want a more in-depth talk or presentation about it, we've got some videos on the topic. You can go and just search the YouTube channel for tomb raiding method, and we break it down in quite detail. But essentially what we are looking for are a list of competitors that are in our current space. We pull out their backlink metrics, UR, DR, trust flow, citation flow, etc. And we add them all up to give us an overall domain score, essentially. And then we put our website in there as well, because we're starting with an age domain. We're going to have domain authority and domain metrics to put in. We order the list highest to lowest. And from there, we can see who are our stronger competitors, and more importantly, who are our weaker competitors. And then of the weaker competitors, we can look for the websites that are doing a standout job of generating traffic. So they're almost anomalies. They think got a weak domain in terms of backlink profile, but they get in obscene amounts of traffic, and that must mean they're doing something right. If they haven't got a weak link, if they haven't got a strong link profile, that's probably them because they've either chosen really good keywords, or they've structured their content in a certain way that Google likes, or both. And we want to basically look at how they do that. So we pull out all of their top performing content. We use Screaming Frog to pull out the word count, the H tags, the meta description, all that kind of stuff to give us an idea on how they're structuring their content. And then from there, what we now do is cluster them together based on category. So we'll go through that massive list. We'll put together and add in a primary and usually a secondary category as well. And then from there, we'll order the content in terms of which category we think has the best return on investment. And we calculate that by adding up all of the total word count for each category, total number of posts for each category, total estimated traffic for each category. And then we divide that traffic by the number of posts and say, on average, this category drives X amount of visitors per piece of content. And we order that list highest to lowest now, and we start building out category by category. So that's the change. We used to just order the whole list highest to lowest. Now we're ordering it highest to lowest based on the potential return based on each category, and then we're working our way through that category list. So that's the same methodology that we use for this website. In this specific project, we looked at 385 different competitors, and a big chunk of those came from our data project. So a lot of websites were looked at, analyzed, and basically torn apart in order for it to help us create this keyword research plan for such a large amount of content. It's hard work planning for 4 million plus words of content, but that's the methodology we used. And this is the timeline. So this has changed many times in the last 3 updates, as and when things have gone live on the website, etc. But we launched the website with, well, it's very aggressive. We launched the website with almost half a million words of content, 239 posts. In September, so the next month, we launched another 831 pieces of content, 400 posts, and then 461. Slowed down a little bit in November as we came into the holiday season. 351 words were added to the website. Another 500,000 in December, and then January up until today, we've added 213,000 words, and we've still got 1.2 million words left to publish, which sounds like a lot when you look at the rest. But the good news is all of that content has been written and edited. It's literally just in the uploading queue. So I'm confident that almost all of that content will now be live by February. It's just with the uploading team now, which is great. That would pretty much be all of the content that we planned for the website. So it's taken a little bit longer. The initial plan was to have all this content on the website by the end of December. But with the holiday period, we just didn't really assume how many people were going to take holiday within the business, etc. And it's just pushed the project back a little bit. But
also Black Friday, right? And our busy time
Black
of the year. So our staff were working on customer stuff rather than our stuff. So we just had to kind of move it.
But even when you think about it, I mean, it's 7 months, 4 million, just over 4 million words of content. And considering we've been doing this almost as I don't want to call it a side project internally, but it is an internal side project, essentially. Still a massive feat of work to get written and uploaded onto the website. So really proud of the team on done that, and that's kind of the scale that we've been aiming for.
Just thought to point out as well, if you've got any questions, then feel free to ask them anytime, and we'll get around to them.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the kind of the content side of things, and the other aspect of building an authority site is. Do you want to answer that one now?
Do one straight away.
Yeah.
How do you manage the brief creation part and content creation and auditing part with such a massive publishing?
Yeah. So we've got lots of internal systems and processes now set up to manage this stuff. But I guess to give you a high level overview, in terms of the brief creation, the keyword research methodology that we use essentially takes care of that. So when we look at Tomb Raider and we found those weaker competitors and we found their best performing websites, and we pull out what the structure looks like from their H1s and H2s, etc., that essentially forms the brief of the new piece of content. The writers have to cover the same topics with similar H tags, essentially. And the reason we do that is because if they've got a weak link profile, but Google is rewarding them with lots of traffic, we know that they've covered the topic good, and they're doing something that Google likes from a pure content perspective. The only difference between our content and their content then is that we make ours a little bit better, a little bit more in depth, and that usually means by adding an FAQ section or just covering the topic a little bit deeper, and the writers have got kind of free reign over how they do that. So that's the content brief. And then in terms of auditing and just getting it live on the website, it goes to a variety of teams. So the initial was keyword research team, and then it goes to the content creation team to be written. And then from there, it goes to the uploading team and the QA team, and they get it on the website and make sure that it all looks good and that there's no kind of issues with the content or issues with how it's formatted or how it looks on the website. They'll also add images. They'll also do the internal linking. They'll add any affiliate links if there's any affiliate links needing doing. They'll add embed a YouTube video. They'll do all the things really in terms from a QA perspective that the content needs to have before it hits publish. So it's broken down into silos, almost like a factory line where you've got keyword research done, checked onto the next stage, which is content creation done, checked onto QA, done, checked onto uploading, done, checked onto final before being published. So I hope that answers the question. In terms of how we manage it, just from a pure technical perspective, we use a project management tool called Monday.com. Monday.com handles all the different departments and moves it along in that process in a timely manner. So Ahmed, I hope that answers the question, but anything else, just let me know. In terms of link building, another question from Daniel. Curious to know how many authors are identified on the blog to establish EAT. Good question. Only one, actually, Daniel. So we don't have this broken out by multiple authors or anything. And the reason we've done this is specifically in this niche, this is the norm. In this type of niche, there's usually only one author. The niche is dominated by, I guess, passion websites, people that are passionate about the space, and it's just them essentially creating websites. But also because we're using an age domain, when we create the author persona, we have the first same name as the previous owner, so we can capitalize on any EAT that they would have established for the website. And also, as I come on to in the link building part, we're doing quite a bit of aggressive digital PR link building for this. And digital PR is a good way of building EAT because you get tier 1 websites to link back to your site mentioning the author's name. And if you had to split that out over multiple authors, then you basically just dilute it essentially. So it's all or nothing on the one author, which in this instance makes sense because that's the norm in the space. In terms of the link building, we are using a combination of 301 redirects, niche relevant age domains. That's just HARO link building. That was when we first launched. It's now digital PR, which incorporates some HARO link building. So it's digital PR link building and redirecting high quality niche relevant age domains. And this is what that looks like in terms of the age domain redirects. So far, we've redirected 5 domains into this project. The first one went live in August, the same month we launched the website. It was a DR33 with 316 referring domains. And then we had 2 in September, like buses. They either come along all at once or they don't come along at all. So when they come along, age domains that meet the relevancy and our criteria, we've got to grab them when we can. So 2 came along in September, a DR27 and a DR20. And then another in October. Nothing came along in November. We won't force buying these age domains. They've got to be the highest quality that we would be prepared to build a money site on, essentially. We don't scrimp on quality just because it's a 301 redirect. And then another one came along in December, a DR20, which went live end of December. So it's, I guess it hasn't fully been picked up by Ahrefs yet, but you can see that referring domains chart. You can see the bumps along the way of where those domains have been redirected in. And this is a really good way of link building. Link building methods, different methods have their different uses. Like I say, digital PR is good for links and also for building EAT, but for a pure authority play, like there's nothing more cost effective than redirecting an age domain in, because you get hundreds of referring domains for the cost of what it would typically cost you to build 10, 20 or 30 high quality referring domains through traditional link building. So we love this methodology, but only if the implementation is correct and only if the domains are of the highest quality, essentially. And this is what I mean by the implementation. So we've got an actual methodology for redirecting an age domains. We don't just redirect them to the homepage. And the reason we do that is to make the project look as natural as possible to Google. If we think about the way a business would acquire another business, typically they wouldn't acquire the assets and just redirect it straight to the homepage and forget about it. It doesn't really work like that. So our methodology, and again, we've got a whole video on this. If you want to go and watch how we break it down, what's included in acquisition page, etc., search our YouTube channel for acquisition page, I think it's called. And there's a whole video. But top level view is we create a page on our money site called an acquisition page that talks about the how we've acquired the domain of the site that we're going to redirect in. And then it's got a long piece of content, typically a couple of thousand words, that talk generally about the topic of the domain that's been redirected in. So to give you an example, if we were building a sports website and the age domain that we were going to redirect in was about tennis, the acquisition page might talk about the history of tennis and the most recent champions over the last 10 years, for example. Just something generic, high level, which we can use to internally link through to all of our tennis content on our money website. And then when we redirect the age domain in, we redirect it directly to that acquisition page. And what that does is it takes all the relevance and power of that age domain, puts it into a piece of content that's relevant about tennis, and then all of the power gets passed internally through the internal links through to that tennis content and really powers up that category. So that's the methodology we use. And then we will put out a press release which says, hey, look, our money site has acquired the domain of this other site, and shout about it, essentially. We don't want to keep this quiet. We want to release a press release and make it look like it's an actual real acquisition, like a real company would do. And there's definitely shortcuts. I see people falling foul all the time. They're just redirected to the homepage. They won't go to the effort to do this. But if you do this correctly with high domains, then there's very little risk in terms of this methodology, essentially. We've got a couple of questions here. Should I answer them as we go now? So we've got one from Emmanuel. How do you cluster keywords? So I kind of touched upon that on the tomb raiding methodology. So if we think essentially, once we've done the tomb raiding part and we've got a list of all of the best performing content from our weaker competitors, we've got the titles of them from Screaming Frog. What we then do is that we then go and add a category and a subcategory. So for example, if you were doing a website all about travel and one of the categories would be cruises, you might have some of the categories within the cruise topic area about the different cruise lines. So you might have one about Norwegian cruise lines and one about Disney cruise lines. And essentially what you want to do is look through all those competitor content and map out all the ones which talk about Norwegian cruise lines, and then give it a subcategory. And the subcategory could be cabins or drinks packages, etc. And then you do that for the whole list. And then with some Excel formulas, you can pull out what are the best opportunities within those categories. So you can say, Norwegian cruise lines, that as a category has 20 posts. Those 20 posts drive 150,000 visitors, and it's got a word count of 200,000 words of content. On average, what's the traffic being driven per post for that category? And you can do that across all the categories that you just mapped out. And then from there, you can order that list highest to lowest. And you can say, well, we know that on average, if we go after this category first, it'll give us the best opportunity in terms of driving traffic and driving an ROI. So that's the way we cluster it. We don't cluster it based on individual keywords. I think Google's moved away from just clustering individual keywords to clustering around topics, and that's the way we do it. We cluster based on a category or a topic, essentially. And another question from Bob and Jen: when you choose an age domain to build or redirect, do you have a cutoff in how long ago the old site was live? No, we don't. And I keep referring to old videos. We've actually got a video on the channel where we talk about this kind of stuff. And I think it's called how many redirect is too many. I think it's in that video where I actually show a live example from my own portfolio of a website that was redirected into another website for, I think, 5 years and then expired. And then I put a very basic website on there, and within the first couple of weeks, it started ranking again for its brand name without any content, literally just a blank WordPress install. So no, we don't have any kind of cutoff for that. I know there's some Google rhetoric around redirecting a domain into another domain, leave it live for a year, and all that power should pass through, but that's not the experience that we have. And I don't think we probably should be believing everything that Google says anyway. Sometimes they say a lot of different stuff like that. We
bought a lot of H domains over the years, and wildly kind of different results, but there's no correlation that we found. And we've looked to how long a site's been since most recent, how long a site has been without a real genuine site, or a domain that's had a real genuine site on it, and how well it performs. Sorry, I was on mute earlier when you asked about the questions. I wasn't ignoring you, just couldn't hear me.
So yeah, Tony, more than happy to help with tomb raiding. I know you've got a lot of content already on the site, so I guess that's one thing to mention there in terms of tomb raiding as well. One thing which you have to be careful of is once you've got that list, especially if you've got an existing website, is deduplicating content that's already on the site. So, or even on any kind of site. If you've got content or you've got a keyword research plan and then you go and do a massive tomb raiding plan, you've just got to make sure that you're not duplicating any kind of content. So that would be the big thing for you, Tony, I think, would be making sure that the tomb raiding plan is good, but then also that doesn't cross over on anything you've already got.
Yeah.
So in terms of digital PR, like I mentioned, that's the redirect process, and that's the age domains that we've redirected in. We've now also acquired 27 digital PR links. We were running HARO, but then we switched to a pure or full digital PR. We've now got 27 links for the site. And some of these are awesome. I didn't put the URLs in here, but some of these are the likes of Yahoo and large websites. I think the top ones are Yahoo. We had 2 mentions on 2 actual links from Yahoo. There's a DR91 with 23 million Ahrefs traffic and 89 with 8.9. They're premium tier 1 type of websites, which you could never really buy a link from. So I love digital PR links, and it's been great for this project. So that's just a sample of some of them that we've had. And I touched upon this earlier. This is why we love digital PR. Aside from the links are awesome, they're also creating that digital footprint for the site persona. This website, like most people, I think, in the space that are building these websites, the persona isn't a real person. It's a made-up person. And that could be problematic down the future with Google and their EAT or their double EAT now. I don't know how you pronounce that now. There's another EAT. Yeah. But essentially, we found that digital PR is a good way of building up that EAT or that digital footprint and turning that persona into a real authority. So it's got an added benefit. Somebody asked me recently, we're building a domain for them. It's a DR60 plus already. They found an awesome domain to build on and said, oh, should we switch our digital PR budget into more content? I said, no, you should run at least some digital PR because we need to establish an actual persona and a real authority for the for the persona on the website. One thing on that, I think Daniel mentioned, how many authors do you have? If you can find real authors and you can put them on the About Us page as well, then awesome. But if you can't and you still plan on having multiple authors and multiple fake personalities on the website, it's worth doing digital PR or HARO or whatever kind of outreach you're going to be doing as the different personas, because you don't just want one of them to be an expert. You want to build that up for all of them. It's just more work, essentially.
Yeah. All this helps with credibility and for the site overall.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. So link building results so far, we started at a DR27. We're now at a DR43. Referring domains have gone from 440 to 1,970. And I mentioned this at the start. Why is our target a DR60 plus, and why are we targeting over 2,000 pieces of content? We didn't pull that out of the air. Essentially, we did a big data project. Again, we've got a video on this, so go and watch the video on the data project. But essentially, we looked at just over 5,000 affiliate and content websites. We pulled out their average domain rating, the average number of pieces of content they have, the average traffic that they get, and then the average estimated earnings based on a $25 up EPMV. And from there, we saw in the niche that we're in order to get this site, the goal of this site is to get it to earn in $25,000 a month. In order to do that, we needed to be a DR60 plus, and we needed over 2,000 pieces of content. You can see in that table there, this one only goes up to sites making $20,000 a month, but on average, across the 5,000 websites, sites that are making $20,000 a month, they have an average DR of 58, and they have on average 1,700 pieces of content. So when we planned out how we were going to build this site and how much content we needed and what that looked like and what the link building methodology should be, we had this in mind, that these were the goals that we needed to get to. Now, this is the average. We could get to these goals and we could be massively over the average or massively under. We could be smack in the middle, but at least we've got a starting point to aim for. We know the direction we want to get into, and we can start planning around how that should look.
Yeah.
And these are the results so far. So Google Analytics for the last 30 days, we've just crossed over 1,000 page views per day after 5 months. So I'm really happy with that progress. It's growing nicely, and this is where you can see it from the start, essentially. There's been chat and unofficial talk about a Google update around the 5th of January. Lots of people, including myself, saw lots of volatility around the 4th and 5th of January. This site looks like it had a positive impact from whatever shuffling was going on there. You can see that those two little bumps on the end. This is actually in a niche. It's not a seasonal niche, but it's a niche that typically is more popular on the weekends. And you can see that those two bumps there are a Saturday and Sunday, and then it drops back down in the week. So we've had, since that update start of January, 2 weekend new highs. And the way the traffic is going this week, I'm expecting another new high this weekend. It's getting addictive. Mark's probably fed up of me sending him screenshots saying, oh, another new high this weekend or whatever.
I keep looking myself. If you look on the weekly view, actually, you can kind of, it's even better. You can kind of see, it's going to be even better this week than it was last week, and so on. So it's looking good.
And this is Search Console data. You can see those spikes up in terms of clicks over the weekend a lot more clear there. But it's just been very nice, steady, slow upward kind of trend. You can see around that kind of first week of January where that bump happened, which is nice. I'm always wary about traffic bumps around Google updates, but this one looks like it's going okay. And then we've got Google Discover. I was really excited about Google Discovery at the start of this website. We had some Google Discover traffic straight away. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I've only ever had one other experience of Google Discover traffic with my own personal website, and it's been massive. We're talking when it hits thousands of visitors per day. And I've actually been really disappointed with the site so far in that it's only driven a couple of clicks per day. But it's good news. It's still really early. It's still a new site. I think the fact that it's being picked up sometimes by Google Discover is a really good sign. And I think as the site grows in authority and just grows in age, we'll have more Google Discover traffic. I'm just a little bit disappointed that it didn't take off the way my other experience has, but it's still a good positive sign that we're still getting Google Discover traffic. And even yesterday and today, you can see that little uptick at the end there. That's some more Google Discover traffic coming in.
Drop back one slide, Adam. So click-through rate is low. You typically find this when you start a site's like just starting out and growing pretty quickly, because as the keywords rise kind of through the rankings and they're kind of aging, you'll find that they're getting impressions, but they're not in the top slots yet. So they're getting impressions, but the click-through rate isn't that high.
Also, there's one thing which is in here, and it depends on if you've got a video embedded in every page on your website, Tony. With this, in this particular instance, the website is getting tons and tons of impressions from video. So in Search Console, you can click on the search appearance, and then you can break it down, the search appearance. It's getting tons of impressions for the videos that are embedded on the page. They're not our videos, they're other people's YouTube videos that are relevant. The click-through rate is probably low on those, but the number of impressions, you can see 3 million impressions, 18,000 clicks. It is really low, but tons and I think hundreds of thousands of impressions are coming from the videos, which is making the click-through rate also look quite low.
Can you break that up in Search Console? Like, can we see the click-through rate with for the videos and not with the videos? I haven't really thought about that before.
You can click it. So you can click on search appearance, and then you can click which type it is, and it gives you the chart above them with just that type.
Be interesting to have a look at that comparison.
But does it make any money? This is what everyone wants to know. Oh, how much money are you guys making? You're probably millionaires by now. No, we're not millionaires with the site yet. But it is making money. So the site was integrated with Ezoic on the 21st of November, and the daily earnings have been growing up a little bit there. It's a weird time of the year to integrate with Ezoic. We integrated it at the end of Q4, where typically earnings are strong because of high EPMV. But this year, EPMVs were through the floor. With everything that's going on in the world recession, war in Ukraine. I mean, these are the reasons why display networks are providing lower EPMVs. But essentially, brands are not spending as much advertising this year, this quarter, this last Q4, as they typically would. And you can see that if you go onto the Ezoic website and go to the ad index revenue, you can go back years, and it's very predictable that the end of the year, Q4 is almost always a massive jump up, and then it drops off in Q1, as you would expect. This year is back to trend. It's the first year where Q4 is really low, and then it's gone a bit lower in Q1. So it's a weird time to integrate with Ezoic. It takes some time for Ezoic AI to figure out which placements are working best. And then you've got this massive drop off at the beginning of January. So even though traffic has been going up, daily revenue hasn't really started rising yet, just because of those reasons, essentially. And you can see that there. But it did $25 in November for those first couple of days. We did $253 in December, and we're now on track for over $300 in January. So within the next couple of months, I imagine the site will be earning significantly more. And currently, I imagine the trajectory it's on, it'll only be in a couple more months before we're at Mediavine level. We'll probably switch over to Mediavine, and EPMV as a result should increase, or RPM rate should increase there, just as it is a general rule of thumb. And here you can see the EPMV. We expect it to increase. We started off around the 10, then over that kind of week before Christmas, we went up to almost 20, and now we're back down to the 10 to 15 range. But based on the data that we have for other websites in the space, we know that $25 EPMV is achievable, easily achievable. So I'm not too worried that we're at a lower EPMV right now. I think as we progress throughout the year, we move to a different ad network, that will sort itself out. And just to kind of recap, this is the project spend, or will be once we've got all the content live on the website, etc. But we spent about $3,500 on the primary domain. We've spent about $322,000 on content, if at our current 7 cents a word, if you were to engage us for a project. We are in the process of running 6 months of digital PR campaign, which would cost almost $12,000. And we set aside $15,000 for age domains. We've bought 4 age domains. We've still got a fair bit of that budget left. I say fair bit, we've still got a couple of thousand left. So I'm still expecting to acquire a couple more age domains to redirect in. So total spend on this project is $352,000, which is a lot, obviously. But the goals are lofty as well. So we're expecting within 24 to 36 months of this going live, so we're 5 months in, within that time frame, We're expecting to grow the site to 1 million plus visitors per month with a minimum EPMV of $25, which will generate our $25,000 a month that we need to exit for $1 million plus at a 40x multiple. So that will give us a nice return, and that's excluding any monthly income. So the return is likely to be much higher depending on how long we keep the asset or how long we keep the website. And I think this page is good because it shows transparency. These results will ultimately, over the course of the next year or two, be massive. And as we share more updates, it's easy to get lost. That's just sharing traffic stats and revenue stats. But there's a lot of work and a lot of spend that's gone into this. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's the Beast project case study update. Any questions? Anybody want to know anything specific? We can also do these things for you, by the way. So Niche Website Builders does this on behalf of clients. If you don't want to do it this scale, then we've got packages on a much lower scale. But if you want to go at this scale as well, we can do that. So yeah, that's me done. That's my update done.
Excellent. Good work. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to know more, feel free to type something in the chat and ask any questions. But if you want to just book a call with us or something to chat through the options in terms of what we're calling growth packages at the moment, which is a pretty boring name, but it kind of says what it is on the tin. But we could come up with something more interesting at some point. But yeah, we have a number of different growth packages depending on your budget and ambition and things. So yeah, take a look. Drop us a message through the website. You can book a meeting through the website too, and we'll happily take you through it. Here you go. Another question. Did you hire a manager specifically for this project?
No, we didn't. So all this is just managed by our internal team. It's the same process that we use for our clients and everything. So we've just popped it through as if we're a client, essentially. So it's gone through the whole range of process it's just gone through the normal client process internally.
Yeah. So as our customer success manager, I guess, is responsible for project management and making sure that things happen and
content goes live.
So team.
At 1.2 million words isn't on the website by the end of January, I'm going to be upset. No, just kidding.
Excellent. All right, if you don't forget to hit the like button so we can share more videos like this. If we get to 35, we're at 22 at the moment. If we get to 35 likes by the end of the show, then we'll do the merch giveaway. But with that, I'll hand over to Elena to take us through the edge domain she's got for us today.
Cool. So the first one I'm going to start with is Travel Junkie Julia. So the domain is in the travel niche, as the name suggests. It's 14 years old and it's DR16. Now I've got quite a few nice competitors to show you. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to get cracking. Right, so this is what the site looked like in the Wayback Machine at some point. Just very straightforward travel domain by Julia, she's here. And she was an adventurer, travel writer, and a TV host. And she traveled all over the world. And because I think it was because of her job, she decided to share her travel experiences. So you can safely say that this domain was in the travel space. Now let's take a look at the backlinks. We have a couple of really good ones. We have American Express, and we have 4 do follow links from American Express, which is pretty cool. Nice. We have Expedia, we have InStyle, we have Folk, we have Canadian Living, Enterprise Holdings, Gat Ventures, Buck Travel, Cheap Flights, Expert Vagabond? Such a strange name, but it's a travel site.
Expert Vagabond.
Okay. The travel site is amount of traffic. PR72. This is a fantastic backlink, really. We have Enterprise Holdings, which I already mentioned. Site is for me, and a couple more down the line as well. So really, the backlink profile is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Same goes for the anchor text profile, where we have branded right at the top, like branded until here. So nearly the top 10 are branded. I'll consider this to be branded as well, as this is the name of the lady around the block. So something that Adam mentioned while he was tearing down his slides was obviously we're going to utilize this already established EAT. So the person that we'll tend to recreate as a persona will have the first name, so we can preserve that. The best pages by incoming links is the same situation as the anchor text. We're seeing that the majority are going towards the home. page. We are seeing that there are some interesting pieces of content here. Travel adventures to add to your bucket list. Like, this sounds really cool. Pieces of content that we can definitely recreate page to page. Obviously, the quality of these backlinks will need to be inspected. Ultimately, these are really nice pieces of content that we might as well recreate. So the strategy, oops. The strategy for this domain obviously is very much travel related. And as we all know, obviously travel took a massive hit during COVID-19. And now people are traveling more than ever, really, because people missed out on loads of adventures. So now it really is the perfect time to start a travel site, as we are kind of in the middle of winter and we're exiting and people start traveling again around springtime. This is where we should expect the most kind of visitors. But here's just kind of what we have in mind in terms of the strategy. Content around best things to do in X and Y city, like, I don't know, 100, I don't know, like 10 best places to see in New York and must places to go to, etc. And then food places, obviously, restaurants, eating out when you go to travel is kind of how go hand in hand. People like to go out and dine well and experience local cuisines and cultures, etc. So definitely things we can look at doing as well. And informational piece of content on travel. Examples include like packing tips, traveling on budget, traveling with kids, traveling with pets, you name it, just all sorts of guides related to travel. The monetization can come from display adverts, but of course, other things like affiliate programs to do with all things travel, like power charging, travel bags, etc., like other opportunities there as well. Competitor I want to show you is called roamingtheusa.com DR18. And this one is doing a fantastic job. As the name suggests, these guys are only really focusing on the US. And as we're saying, best cities to visit in the US, romantic vacations in the US. We have romantic getaways, winter vacations, best places to visit during Christmas. This one is in 2021, but you know. We have best places to visit in December, so we can do it by months, which is interesting. And then they have restaurants, which kind of reassures and kind of suggests that this is the right strategy for us to approach if this domain is doing so well, covering kind of travel related stuff and restaurants. Obviously, this tells us that it's a good strategy to cover that as well. And stuff like best places to visit in the we have March here, we have February, summer vacations and cabins and all things, other things. Like, if these guys are just doing such an outstanding job for DR18 site, like, yeah, you can just tell that there's huge opportunity here in the travel space. The second competitor is Always on the Shore, DR13, so again, less authority than us, and it's generating 46,000 per month according to Ahrefs. These guys are doing quite a lot of restaurants and things to do in here and there. So a bit of a mixed bag of stuff, but obviously all travel related, like Easy United Airlines good, things to do in Miramar Beach, things to do in Seattle, Florida. We have more restaurants and more beaches and stuff like that. So definitely something we can take from this one as well. Same goes for this one. DR18, again, doing pretty good job. And these guys are, again, like a mixed bag of things. They do like restaurants as well. And then they have more information like, are there sharks in the Mediterranean Sea? Are there snakes in Hawaii? Restaurants, things to do in Poconos. And does it snow here and there? And then we have things to do in Miami, in South Miami Beach. So yeah, this is it for the first one, and I'm gonna show you the second one. So
yeah, looks good. Love the backlink profile on that one.
Yeah. So the next one is Bonita Fruit Trees. So the niche is food trees. So this one is really cool. It's a cool domain. 11 years old. And the strategy for this one is really, really interesting. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so this is what the domain looked like. As you can see, very colorful. And yes, avocados are from trees. They are not a plant. And also they are fruit. They're not a vegetable. anyway, I'm going to get to the real business here. So yeah, this domain was all about fruit trees from around the world, and they also wanted to expand to other agricultures and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's a very interesting niche. So yeah, as you can see, loads of fruit trees, and they have like all these beautiful pictures, and yeah, it's a very nice looking site, to be fair. Very cute. As I said, TR18 has 201 referring domains. This domain does have a few good backlinks. So we have mysantonio.com and San Diego Magazine. These two are really high quality news sites. They're getting like, this one's getting nearly 1 million traffic, and it has DR81. And then we have this one. So these two backlinks for me are the top ones, but we do have one more here, which is also really good. It's called orangepippin.com, which is a niche relevant backlink. And this one is all about apples, pears, plums, and cherries, and orchids, and where they're grown, which is Alexa as well, generating good amount of traffic, and it's DR58. Right, so in terms of the anchor text, it's looking good as well. We have branded at the top, we have branded here, branded, and then anchor text related to the niche itself, and then some generic, some naked here as well. So yeah, no concerns at all on the anchor text profile. So in this instance, we're seeing that the majority of backlinks are pointed towards an image here, but every time I see an image getting loads of attention, is typically it's getting it because it's basically loads of block spots, and it's exactly what we're seeing here, like loads and loads of block spots. So I wouldn't worry about this. But on the second spot, we are getting the homepage, which is very good, and then again an image. And with images, even if backlinks are great, we wouldn't be able to recreate them, obviously, because we don't own the rights of those images. But it's looking like there are going to be only like a handful of posts that we'll need to recreate, like this one, fakes. Yeah, and then a few more. But yeah, not a lot. So the best bit about this domain, personally, I think, is the strategy, because I think this domain has got a very interesting approach. And we can do something similar to what we've done before for a previous expired domain that we had. So we can do things like fruit picking farms and like picking things from trees, and like peach picking and cherry picking and things like that, which is relevant. And then we can do content around the types of fruit trees, types of fruits, types of vegetables. And then we can do fruit and veg seasonality, like what time of the year peaches grown in, I don't know, in America or something. So loads of like interesting content that we can look at doing, and obviously fruit and veg guides. So if you can really stay strictly food and veg really related content, that would be the ideal. And there's like loads of interesting opportunities and ideas here. We can also do fruits alike, like 10 fruits like blueberries or something like that taste similar, or we can be really smart and do all sorts of cool stuff. So that's why I really like this domain. So the first competitor I want to show you is Ask the Food Geek. Recipes in season. This one is perfect because it follows exactly what we're going to cover. It's slightly higher authority than us, saying generating 37,000 per month. But if you look at what they're doing, they do like best apples. They have artichoke season, types of figs, fruits in season in November, fruits in season in May. We have October fruits, season in August, what's in season in August, June fruits in season, what fruits are in season in April, apples flavor. We have our blackberry sour. This would fall into our guides on all things fruit and veg. Then we have what's in season in February, best apples for apple pie. So yeah, these guys are doing really interesting content that I think fits very well with what we are planning to do in terms of our strategy. And then finally, fruitpickingfarms.com. This one is, without saying, he's doing a fabulous job, TR17, and generating 167 traffic per month according to Ahrefs. And these guys do exactly what I mentioned earlier, like all sorts of picking around you. And some of these queries have got like insane amount of search volume. Blueberry, peach, cherry. They have flowers, lavender, fruit farms, blueberry, apple picking, strawberry picking, raspberry, all this sort of cool stuff. So really, this site is for me the best the best bits about it is how unique it is and the unique approach it will require, to move it forward. So if you're after a really interesting domain that is going to be a fun really to work on, then this is the best. And this is it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, that's really good, that one. You'd never. Well, I mean, I guess you might do if you kind of lived in the part of the world where there's a lot of orchards or whatever. But thinking about orchards and picking fruit at different times of the year, you wouldn't think there'd be so much traffic, but there is a lot. There's a lot there. So yeah,
we found that probably by accident, didn't we? 6-7 months ago, maybe a bit longer. I think I've probably just been waiting to use it, the fruit picking one.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw that as we were doing research. Oh wow, this is a space we would never even have thought of.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's the cool thing about looking through so many domains, also in competitors. Sometimes I look at someone and I'm like, oh wow, this is interesting. Some absolutely obscure things that people get into that are absolutely doing incredible. So
yeah, because it's not obvious, probably underserved.
Exactly.
As well. So
exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for that, Elena. There were a couple of good domains there. If you're interested in those, they are available on our website, nichewebsite.builders. You can go and buy them with a content package where we'll go ahead and do the keyword research, tomb raiding keyword research most likely for that as well. We can even combine it with a growth plan as well, as we was referring to earlier, if you'd like. So head over to nichewebsite.builders and check out the domain inventory. We're going to have a bunch more on there in addition to those two as well. And you'll probably find Elena talking about those with the video embeds on those domains as well. So you can get the full insight. And that generally all of our domains have kind of a plan associated with them as well. So check them out. We're low on the number of likes. We're 27, so we're getting there. We're a bit shorter this time. So
27 people watching those. So we should be able to get to 35.
Well, we're at 27. I don't know. Maybe all 27. I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, but hit the like button. Or 28. We're up. Hit the like button. If we get to 35, we'll do the merch. Truth is, we're probably gonna do it anyway because we don't come on Brifton anymore, and so we've got to do it. But yeah, let's. Should we go ahead and do that? Is there anything we want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
What's coming up? Would you want to have a look? Do you want me to do that? Have a look what's coming up next.
Yeah, I'll answer Daniel's question. So Daniel put in a question while Elena was doing the domains. What is the projected cost of maintenance once the target number of posts is reached? I guess we'll continue with digital PR. So yeah, pretty much. In terms of adding new content, we'll switch this over to, I guess what we call a maintenance package where we'll still add content, but it'll be very little. We're talking 10,000 words per month. It'll be a couple of posts per month just to keep it ticking over and not for Google to think the site has just stopped producing content. Digital PR we planned in 6 months. We didn't start digital PR straight away. So there's still several months of digital PR to continue. And same for the age domains. It's very opportunistic. If we find one and we are 12 months in, then we'll probably still go out and add that to the project. So really, the continued expense would just be adding maintenance content going forward, using up the rest of the digital PR link building, and then being opportunistic on any age domains that we find. But also, when we worked out what the target for the project should be, i.e. we want to get it to a $1 million flip, that return doesn't include any monthly revenue. So when that monthly revenue builds to several thousand a month, we can actually start reinvesting that. And we can start putting that back into new content, and we can start putting that back into digital PR. So it's not a case of we're going to just build it, add these content, and then let it sit for nothing for 3 years. It gets to the point where it's the flywheel effect, and you can start reinvesting that money back in without putting fresh money back in.
Yeah, and not forgetting it's if we get to that target, we're at 25,000 a month at that point. So plenty to reinvest at that point. Okay, so coming up.
This is my favorite comment ever. It's not even. This is Mark's fashion sense. It's not a dressing gown. It's his jacket.
This is the perk of being the boss, I guess.
This is a cardigan. I'll do the top bit up as well. Yeah.
Cardigan.
Maybe a look less dressing. I don't know. Is a cardigan even worse than a dressing gown?
It would have been awesome if you didn't have a t-shirt on underneath it or something. So it did look like a dressing gown.
Just my hairy chest
For
poking
our
out.
US listeners, I guess a dressing gown in the US is a bathrobe, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Tony, merch winner for that content. 100% agree.
Excellent. Awesome. So coming up this week or next week.
Sick
You
of
like
me
that?
now. I can't wait to tell Jess when I go home later.
Well, to be fair, you called it a dressing gown as well, so it's definitely got dressing gown vibes. So, I've got 2 of these, you know. I'll wear another one next time. I've got a brown one as well. Anyway, so yeah, next week we've got Dave with Elena on the show, talking about websites versus alternative investments. So that should be a good one. Yeah, but comparing it to other alternative investments. So that should be a great show to tune into. That's kind of show that I like. So, not down and dirty in the strategy and the tactics, but just comparison from a website investing point of view. If you missed it already, there was already Elena. You were on this week, weren't you, with Craig Campbell on Craig Campbell's channel on Tuesday. So if you haven't seen that already, you can head over there. Elena was chatting to Craig and talking about another couple of domains, the college crush and snacking in the kitchen. And Dave's on next week as well. Dave's on a lot next week. He's doing website investing case studies on Craig's channel next Tuesday as well. So go and check those out. So Dave's on twice next week. Didn't realize that.
Busy week for Dave.
That's it. So shall I flash the merch? Maybe that always used to work a bit, didn't it? So we're at 29 now. It's not far. I'm going to flash the merch.
Oh, there we go. There's Tony there. Tony in the merch.
There's Tony. If you too can look as cool as Tony in his merch. Get different designs, a couple of different colors. Get your choice if you win. And then we got some caps and some mugs. I think the caps always look terrible there. But Ian's rocking it on the first
Gangster
page.
Mark in his dressing gown. Yo, G, what up?
This is what a gangster's dressing gown looks like. There you go. Ian looks better. This one's massive for some reason. I prefer Ian, the size that Ian's got it there. But, yeah. So awesome. So that's what you could win. Bet you've hit the like button now, haven't you? No, still 29.
We should have put your hat on and said, the more likes we get, the more likely you are to take it off.
Awesome. All right, let's do it.
Anyway.
Let's do it anyway. Get some tunes on. I've got to get the wheel of names up.
Tunes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, we can't do it now, can we? Because we've got to tell people to actually type something in the chat. So type something in the chat if you're interested in being in the draw. You've got to type something in the next 5 minutes, and we'll make sure you're in the draw. It's just the way YouTube works. I can't easily grab your name out unless you type something in the chat. So if you want some of that lovely merch, so yeah, logo, niche website builders on a dressing gown.
Got a bit of Christmas music going on. Is it too late for Christmas music?
I mean, I'm sick of Christmas music. Get rid of it.
What about New Year music? Let's put New Year
music. That's it.
Bit of beat, yeah. New Year, new goals, yes. In the gym.
2023, baby.
No. Feel like Kanye now in the workout video.
This is good, actually. This is probably one of the best tunes that we've ever done. Yeah, Anton,
Ashley wants one of Mark's cardigans.
Get it out. They're called And Sons. They're the.
I'm not sure he's being serious, Mark. I'm not sure.
Yeah, man, he is. Of course, he is.
He didn't put a lol or a smiley face, though, so maybe he is.
What's the and but? What's it called? I can't think of it.
Ampersand.
Yeah, Ampersand Sons, SONS. Search for them. Check it out there. Yeah, I'm wearing slippers as well, Anton. You know, I can wear slippers and dressing gown if I want. It's all good.
You guys are working from home.
I'm in my 40s.
I haven't even got any pants on under here, so.
And Summers from a dressing gown. All right. Oh, we're at 31 likes now. Flash. Right. Okay, let's see what we're doing. Okay. Okay, a couple more minutes. Should we turn the music away? I like it. This is good. Yeah, Manuel.
What's the beard straight and don't catch something else? I'll be phoning you, Tony. I'll be on fire. Send me a fire engine up.
There you go. Anton, branded dressing gowns. Okay, running out of time. Last chance.
Do it.
Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds left. Anton's in the draw.
You should put Anton in twice, I think.
All right.
Double entry for Anton.
There'll be an uproar about that. I'll play him in twice though, but you know, there's if everyone else kicks off, then it's all on you.
Comment of the year so far. It's got to be worth a double entry.
All right, we're going with that. Anton's in twice. Right, let's go. I can remember how to do this again. Share screen, that's it. Didn't work. Nowhere. They've changed it. They've changed it.
Oh, they haven't.
That was last year.
They
have. Right. There you go. Anton's in twice up here. So let's do the draw. Oh, niche website builders are in there as well. If niche website builder, oh no, I can't make Anton a third one, can I? Oh, Anton! No. Somebody wasn't with that because I had to say it. Oscar Padley. Oscar Padley.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Head over to the Niche Website Builders website. Okay, yeah, type something in the chat there. That's probably the best way, or go to the contact form and they'll send over details about the merch and you can choose what you want and we'll get it sent out to you. So yeah, congratulations. Right, I think we're done here. Enough.
Yeah,
taking a piss off my dressing gown, and
you will take your dressing gown off, and I'll set something on fire with my beard straighteners.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Elena. Thanks, Adam. And thanks everybody else for joining the stream. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
See ya.